Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is at Feel the Pain PW, or Nick Payne if you prefer, and you're watching my 9th episode here on my F1 2020 MyTeam career. And if you haven't already, please check out my previous episodes. The last race, of course, was at the Baku Grand Prix, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, of course. And actually, I qualified in P2 and into turn 1. I actually got past the pole sitter in Charles Leclerc and actually led most of the first bit until I got a bit of damage, and then I had to work my way back. Actually made quite a few overtakes, quite a few nice overtakes, as you can see there, a little dummy on Bottas, and actually finished in P2 overall. So first podium for the team, great result for us, and yeah, as you can see there, what a beautiful scenes that is, as we got our first podium. So great result for us, and as you can see now, we've got the questions in front of us. And the first question is, everything went your way today, looked good, so I'm going to go for a good strategy just to get the chassis built up a bit. We all underestimated you. Well, you shouldn't. You underestimated the team. And also, I think that we should go with that you should concentrate on me, besides not Renault. Let's be honest, we're the ones who are further ahead than them in the constructors at the moment. And as you can see, we're in the main menu again, so we've got a chance to put a few activities on. Only 2 days, of course. There's a few there to use: simulator training, chassis team building, podium celebration party, which is only 1 day, or a sponsor event. We're going to go with the podium celebration party, just because we don't know how long it's going to be until we're back on the podium. But because we got on the podium, we've got actually quite a bit of money in, and we're actually going to spend some of that now, and we're going to get another aerodynamic upgrade, which decreases the risk of failure when we do or use our R&D points. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to see how we get on in qualifying in Canada now. And as you can see, bright skies here at the Canada Grand Prix in qualifying, of course, Q1, as we cut the corner just slightly there, and you can get away with it. Put a lot of speed through that corner, brake just before the 100-meter board, and you could cut this corner just enough as well there in turn 3, and go through each corner to get yourself a good line out. Brake just before what I see as the orange board on the side, on the metal, go around the final corner into turn 7, into the DRS zone. There's 3 DRS zones on this race circuit. This is the second one, of course, as you go through another chicane. Quite a few chicanes now I think about it, around this circuit, into a very tight hairpin, brake at the 100-meter board, and unfortunately I did brake a bit late and go quite deep into turn 10, into the hairpin. And then you've got this very long back straight where it's another DRS zone, the final DRS zone, and into another chicane where you have to brake at the right time, because otherwise you'll go into what is famously known as the Wall of Champions on the right there, up into the final DRS zone on the main straight, and it's going to be a P4 finish for Q1, so we're not going to go out for a second lap, we're going to keep it at that, and we actually do finish qualifying 1 in P4, so we are through to Q2. So as we come through onto the final couple of corners into our first lap in Q2, of course, DRS wide open, and we get a P10 finish. So we do need to go out for a second lap, but unfortunately for us, we don't actually improve on it. So we do actually stay in P10, thankfully, just going through. And as we go for our first lap in Q3, we actually hit the wall into turn 4 there. We go across the line, and it's only a P10, so we have to wait until we can get back out there. And unfortunately for us, the damage that's caused for us meant that it was too late for us to actually go out, even though we tried cutting the corner to get back out in time. We can't, so we finish in P10 in qualifying 2, and that's where we're going to end up. But even though we only finished in Q10, we did actually win the rivalry in that qualifying session against Pierre Gasly, so we've now got no rivalry going into the race. And let's see how we get on.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than a tenth of a second. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on a circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Albon, Stroll, Perez, Ricciardo, and the rookie, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Lando Norris, and Giovinazzi, Sainz, Kvyat, Esteban Ocon, and George Russell. Magnussen, Latifi, Aitken, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So, as you saw from that driver's lineup, Gasly's actually in last position due to a grid place penalty. And as also, it's going to be a wet race, which is more important. So we're going to do a one-stop intermediate, 2 intermediates, of course. The rain isn't going to lighten up, unfortunately. And we're going to underfuel the car just slightly, just enough so we have a bit of fuel in the car, but not overly too much. As we're on the grid now, we've got Ricciardo alongside us, 5 red lights, and we're underway here at the Canada Grand Prix, and it's a great start again from us, as we're not only going to pinch Ricciardo, we're going to pinch both racing points and get past quite a few cars here, as we're hitting the back from Perez, and there's a lot of contact from all the cars, as you can hear. All the cars grinding along each other, and we're up into P6 now, so we did overtake Ricciardo, Stroll and Perez. And now we've got Albon side by side, who's coming back at us, but we're up into P6 again. Great start from us as we've overtaken 4 places on the line. Another great start from us from the starting line, from the 5 red lights. And we're up into P6. Just Bottas up ahead. We've actually created a small gap to Albon behind now, as we're trying to see how far up the grid we can get in this opening lap, but at the moment P6 is a great result so far. 4 places in just a couple of corners as we go around the turn 10 hairpin very slowly and cautiously, not to spin it out. And as you can see, there's yellow flags behind me. Someone's connected with someone back there, a little bit of a collision as we're chasing down Bottas, and we've created a gap to Albon behind us now. So we are chasing Bottas, and we have left Albon behind. But unfortunately for us, at the end of lap 1, we're going to be just staying in P6. Well, I say unfortunately for us, we are up 4 places. So fortunately for us, we're in P6. And as you can see, right on Bottas's tail here, as we go through onto turn 10 on lap 5, this is. Try to chase down Bottas. We're using overtake mode. We're using rich mixture. We are still under fuel in the car still, but we are using rich mixture when we're on this back straight, and we're going to dive down the inside on turn 13 and get the move done just before the final pitch straight. Don't forget, no DRS of course due to the wet weather, but Bottas is actually coming back at us here And he's pushing us. He squeezes us onto the grass. We push back. He's got the inside line into turn 1. We've got the inside line into turn 2. So now we can squeeze him back and push him back. And now we're up another place here to P5. And we've got Verstappen up ahead here on lap 7. Going into lap 8 on the final straight here. We're currently in P5, remember. And we've actually just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So we are gaining on Verstappen. As we're here on lap 8. We're looking to make a move here on Verstappen as he slowed through the turn 10 hairpin. Trying to make a move, and we're actually right on his tail. We pump it to rich mix, go to overtake mode, and see if we can get him just like we did Bottas into turn 13 now. As we're looking to make the move, we look for the outside, we switch it to the inside, he squeezes back at us, but thankfully we keep the car in check and we actually make the position. And Verstappen's actually gone slowly through that corner, and now he's going to be caught by Bottas, and yes he is. Bottas has now overtaken him as we're up to P4 now. Here on lap 14, about to cross the line for lap 15, and our tyres, as you can see there, are just cooked to pieces. That back left tyre, as we're trying to chase Vettel, we've absolutely cooked that tyre, and that tyre is just worn to bits now. We're going to have to pit soon. Otherwise, as you can see, it's actually at 100% now. We've actually fully got a puncture on that back right tyre here on lap 16. And we've got Bottas ahead, or behind, who's now going to be able to overtake us as we nearly spin the car into the wall, which would have been catastrophic. Verstappen also goes through as we're just limping, dangling this back right boot into the garage. As you can see, it's yellow flags due to us as car after car. Albon's gone through now as we're struggling to keep hold of the car, and Stroll nearly hits us as we're trying to keep the car in check, and Perez goes through and so does Ricciardo, and we're going to quickly box one lap earlier than we were meant to. As you can see, Ricciardo's coming to the pits as well. We was in P4, remember. We're now down in P10 just behind Ricciardo, trying to get some stability back into this race. As you can see, Ricciardo enters and exits before we even enter. Now we're going to quickly change these front tyres as quickly as we can. We was in P4, remember, at the start of, or at when we were ending the lap, but due to the puncture we're now down actually into P14 now, as you come out just ahead of Latifi and just behind George Russell as we're chasing down the Williams driver. See if we can overtake him as quickly as possible on these new set of intermediate tyres. Don't forget, we pitted one lap earlier and we struggled to even make it to the end of the end of our stint on those tyres, so we will most likely have to pit again as we're coming round into turn 7 now, going towards turn 8. DRS would be open now as we've got Rich Mix and overtake, and we dive down the inside. And that was a very late braking, but we got the move done and we stay ahead of our fellow Brit there into turn 8, and we're up another place now, chasing down what will be Ricciardo next. See if we can catch him as soon as possible as we go up the back straight where we lost our tyre, of course. Put it to rich mix, overtake mode, and we're just trying to push away from Russell, sort of push a gap to him. As you can see now, it's over a second and a half, nearly 2 seconds, and as you can see, Sainz is actually in the pit now as Ricciardo goes through. Sainz and Norris both in the pits, and Giovinazzi and Perez, of course, so we're going to gain quite a few positions here. Ended the lap on P13, and due to the cars in the pits, we're actually up to P10, but as Perez just gets out in front of Ricciardo as well. So we're going to be in P10, but we are chasing the cars up ahead as we go through turn 3 chicane into turn 4. And if you actually look, there's a yellow flag on the mini-map just round the corner. Yellow flag up ahead, and I believe it's actually Perez. Perez, who's just got out of the pits, is now out of this Grand Prix, and a safety car has been deployed just 2 laps after when we get the puncture. If it would have happened 2 laps prior, that'd have been perfect for us. But no, our luck ain't in today with the safety car, and now we're in P9. here on lap 21, our front left, or front right tyre should I say, is quite cold as we're trying to warm it up as much as possible. See if we can make a position as the safety cars in this lap. We go around the final couple of turns, try to see if we can get Ricciardo as quickly as possible here. But don't forget, due to that front cold tyre, that will make things a lot harder than it should be. As we go through turn 1 into turn 2, we have a little look around the outside, see if we can pinch him round. Unfortunately we can't, so we stay back into the racing line, see if there's anything, but unfortunately we don't want to try something too risky, especially in these wet conditions. Make things harder for myself by breaking my front wing now. As we just slow the car down, try to get a better line out, better exit, and just hopefully we can make a move at some point soon. As Grosjean's actually in our slipstream now, trying to catch us for P9, of course. Don't want to let the Frenchman get a beat on us, so he get out of the slipstream, try to catch up to Ricciardo, and everyone's going to be slow around turn 10, so we're actually going to look to make a move here, and Ricciardo's even slower due to Stroll being slow, and we just pinch down on the inside at turn 10, and that's another position we've overtaken now, and we've got Stroll up ahead. Can we make a move here? We're eyeing up the left side, we switch it to the right, sell him a dummy, go to the inside of turn 13, and we're up another place now into P7 at the end of lap 22 now, as we've got Verstappen and Albon up ahead. Stroll just behind us, still looking to see if he can come back here, but we've got Albon up ahead. Can we catch him very soon? As we're here on lap 24 now, and we've got Albon up ahead. We're making a move here, turn 13 once again, dive down the inside, and Albon has nothing but has to relinquish the position to us there. So we're up into P6 now, and we're going to be boxing in the next lap or so. I think we're going to wait a few laps due to these tyres being still good, as we've got Verstappen up ahead, and we're trying to see if we can make a move on this Red Bull now, just like we did on Albon, but we're going to make the move earlier as he's slow through turn 10, and we just hold him up enough so we can make the move, and we're up into P4 now. Can we catch Bottas up ahead? Don't forget, we'll be having to come into the pits either this lap or the next, because these tyres will shoot off very soon, and we can't let the tyres just slow us down too much. But as Bottas comes in, we're going to stay out, and hopefully we can catch Bottas in the next couple of laps or so. He's going to be doing the undercut. We're just going to try using this small bit of clean air that we have to catch up to Vettel and hopefully box straight after. As we've got Verstappen still behind us, still hot on our heels, remember, as Jack Aiken comes into the pits. And we're going to be boxing this lap, remember. So we've got Verstappen directly behind us, Vettel staying out. Vettel's probably trying to go to the very end of this Grand Prix. So we come into the pits, which will allow both Red Bulls to float on through. Albon's still a bit behind us as he now goes through. Stroll will go through, so will Hamilton. And don't forget, we boxed in P2, remember, and we're going to be coming out what looks to be in P9 now. We're going to be in P9 as car after car goes past, but as we're cutting the corner, we're going to go side by side directly next to what looks to be Lando Norris in the McLaren, as we've got Lando Norris for company into turn 3, but at 2 going into 1 doesn't work out for both of us, and we actually sink the position, and we go up to P8 now, and we've got Giovinazzi up next. We're looking to make a move here. He's going to be slow. I think he's on older tyres than us. I don't think he's pitted just yet, so he is out of sync in this Grand Prix, as we're not trying to use all the fuel that we've got, because we're going to need to save it for the later laps in the race, where we're going to have to be making the bigger moves. Don't forget, as I say, he's on older tyres, so we should be able to make this move done here at turn 10, and we're going to dive down the inside. He does sort of squeeze us closer to the grass there, but as we've got the inside and new tyres, we do get the move done quite easily into the turn 10 hairpin, and we're just going to pull the gap away now and try pushing and fighting to catch up to Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton up ahead. But we're up into P7 now, So we're already 3 places up higher than we were on the pit grid in P10, of course, remember. So can we catch Charles Leclerc in the next couple of laps? As we're on lap 29, Leclerc up ahead. We've closed the gap so much that we've got the fastest lap. Purple sector 2, purple sector 3, and we're looking for a move down on the outside at turn 2. Unfortunately, we haven't got enough grip to sail it around the outside. We look to go into turn 3 for Leclerc, and we go to the inside, and we actually squeeze Leclerc back, and we actually get up into P6 in turn 3 now, as we've got Hamilton up ahead, and he's being slowed down by the racing point of Lance Stroll. So what we're hoping for here is that Hamilton and Lance Stroll do fight it out enough that we can actually catch up to both drivers and hopefully overtake them soon enough, as they are fighting quite badly here. So that will actually allow us to catch up just here. We won't be able to overtake, but as they're slow around that corner, we're right on the tail of Lewis Hamilton now. Unfortunately, we did go on the curve, so it did slow our exit just a little bit. But we are chasing Hamilton with Rich Mix, overtake mode, no DRS of course. And we're going to look to make a move here into turn 13 if it's possible. It might not be, as we slow the car down and we just about make the move work into turn 13, roughly halfway into turn 14 as well, as we're up into P5 now. Great result this will be, as we're on the tail of Lance Stroll, seeing if we can make a move here on lap 31. We go to the outside of turn 10, sail the car around. We give him the inside lane as he didn't give us the inside, and we're up another position into P4 of course, and we've got Alex Albon up ahead here on lap 32. Can we catch Albon here? Can we overtake him, as we're going to look to make a move before we get to turn 1? He has got a small bit of gap, but we do use what ERS we've got. We look to make it around the outside. He switches across, and there's damage. There's damage to us as he cuts back across us. We try making it back across him, which is actually going to allow Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll back in front of us, as there's yellow flags due to us. And we've actually hit Albon now, and Albon is now pushed from P4, P3, down into P7, as we're looking to catch up to Lewis Hamilton here, see if we can overtake him. But we do have damage, and we've got to last another 2 full laps here with the damage we've got, and trying to overtake Lewis Hamilton is we try down the outside of turn 3. It actually invites Charles Leclerc in down into turn 3, but unfortunately for him, thankfully for us, we do keep the position as he goes side by side, but he does pull out in the end, and we keep the position for now as Leclerc is right on our tail. Can we pull away from him and catch back up to Lewis Hamilton with this damage of course? And we're finally on the final lap here of the Canadian Grand Prix, and we've still got Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll just in front of us, Charles Leclerc just directly behind us with damage to our front wing. We've got some fuel, a little bit of ERS, no DRS of course, damage to our front wing. Can we make a last ditch move on Hamilton and Lance Stroll? Can we get a chase for the podium? Can we get on the podium for the second race on the trot? Can we, obviously it won't be second place, but can we get third place? Can we get that third step as we brake late just and we go deep into turn 9, I think that is, trying to catch up to Hamilton, and that actually does invite Leclerc back into our slipstream as we save what fuel we can into standard mixture and just slow the car down as we're right on the tail, but Leclerc's right on ours. Where can we finish up in this Grand Prix? We're currently in P5. Hamilton's directly in front of us. We use what we have, overtake mode, Rich Fix, and we get the move done on Hamilton. Can we catch Stroll into the final turn, into turn 30, just like we have done? We brake late, but we slowed the car down, but not enough, and we actually get a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner, and that is where we're not going to get P3, unfortunately. We're going to get that 3-second time penalty, and that actually drops us down to P5, unfortunately. But a good result nonetheless, considering we started in P10, and that's worthy of driver of the day, of course. So, good result at the end of it. So, I'm quite happy with that.
They take the checkered flag then here in Canada in what has been to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. So then, it's time to
And as you can see, Lance Stroll does get on the podium as we failed to slow the car down. Actually, Charles Leclerc jumped us as well, but Lewis Hamilton, unfortunately for him, still had a penalty as well, a 5-second time penalty. So yeah, we do stay in P5. Charles Leclerc jumps us, and Lance Stroll goes into P3. So, but we do get 11 points, of course, due to having the fastest lap. So the 10 points plus the 1 point for the fastest lap. So another good result for the team. Another good result for us in the World Drivers' Championship. As we look through for the standards and we stay in P7 in the World Drivers' Championship. Another great result for us. I can't really complain with P5. I would have taken that before the start of the race, considering we were in P10. So unfortunate not to get the podium due to the last minute penalty. But I'm happy as we stay in P5, of course, as well. And that's where we're gonna actually wrap up this video now, as we stay in P5. If you have liked the video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you have any thoughts, please comment them down below. I do love reading them. I've been at Feel the Pain PW or Nick Payne, and enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope to see you again on my next episode. Goodbye.